So I'm going to have to apologize for the quality of this video again. I am trying to do things better, but unfortunately I was very sick yesterday and could not get anything better done in the time that I had. Today we are going to be talking about, well, on Tuesday we learned about taxonomy, how scientists sort living things into their own categories for them to then be easier to study. Today we are going to talk about the two largest of those categories, the domains and the kingdoms. Domains being the biggest, and there's a few of them, there's 3 domains. Kingdoms being slightly smaller, and there are 4 of them. So, let's get started with some science stats. Did you know there are more kinds of bees than mammals and birds put together? It seems like the less complicated and complex the organism, the more different kinds of them there are. I'm sure a lot of you are aware there's more bacteria than anything else on this earth, but there are more bees than mammals and birds combined. Kind of interesting. So, if we go and we look at how organisms are classified into domains and kingdoms, taxonomy really has changed since Carolus Linnaeus. Microscopes have helped scientists determine tiny new organisms and identify differences amongst individual cells. The modern classification system is made up of 3 big domains, and within the domains there are kingdoms. Organisms are placed into their domains and kingdoms based on their cell type, their ability to make food, and the number of cells in their bodies. The 3 big domains are bacteria, archaea, and Eukarya. Bacteria are found all around you. They're on the surfaces that you touch. They're even inside your body. Some are autotrophs, which means they make their own food, and some are heterotrophs, which means they eat things. Members of the bacteria domain are prokaryotes, or organisms without a nucleus. Remember the center of the cell where the DNA is kept? So bacteria do not have a nucleus that holds their DNA. They do have DNA, but it's not in a nucleus. Like bacteria, archaea are also unicellular, so one-celled prokaryotes, so no nucleus. They can be autotrophs, meaning they make their own food, or heterotrophs, meaning they eat something else. Archaea are classified in their own domain because their chemical makeup, the things that make them up, is different than bacteria. Bacteria and archaea also have different structure and the chemical makeup of their individual cells. So they're both single-celled, they're both lack a nucleus, they both make their own food and or eat something, but archaea chemically are different than bacteria. Archaea are also those crazy bacteria that archaea are also those crazy little microorganisms you hear about living in the Marianas Trench or somewhere near a volcano vent. You know, they live in, or the North Pole, they live in very inhospitable places. Last but not least, we have Eukarya. You are in Eukarya. These are organisms that cells have a nuclei. The domain Eukarya has 4 separate kingdoms: protists, fungi, plants, and animals. Protists are single-celled. Fungi, you know what a fungi is. Plants, you know what plants are. And, animals, right? So, the protist kingdom is sometimes called the odds and ends. So anything that is not an animal, plant, or a fungus is typically put into the protist kingdom. Mushrooms, molds, mildew are all members of fungi. Most fungi feed by absorbing nutrients from dead or decaying organisms. The plant kingdom is a lot of different things, from redwood trees to mosses to little bits of things you find outside growing grass. All plants are autotrophs. All plants make their own food. Did you know this? Members of the animal kingdom are all heterotrophs, right? No photosynthetic animals. Not that I've seen. And if you know different, raise your hand. I'd love to hear from you. Animals have different adaptations that allow them to locate food, capture food, and eat and then digest it. So that is our day. Move on to the next assignment and we'll go from there.